Let me welcome you once again. The last video, I was able to look at the first topic on the course, ENT 211, where we talked about the conceptual classifications of entrepreneurship. That is to say, we looked at various concepts of entrepreneurship as a course. We look at who is an entrepreneur, we look at what is an enterprise, we look at what is entrepreneurship, we look at the key words that are essential when you're talking about entrepreneurship. We looked at innovation, we looked at creativity, we looked at characteristics of entrepreneurship, among others. So, this is the second aspect, second part, second topic of the course, which has to do with the motivation, driving motivations for entrepreneurs. Yeah, if you missed out on the first video, kindly check the link below. All right, we are looking at the second topic, which has to do with the driving motives for entrepreneur. The content for the course, as I said, is available in the description so you can go through it. So I will want to quickly go through what are the motives. When we are talking about motives, as you all know, this implies the driving motives, the driving force, the internal force, something that is pushing you to act, something that propels you into an action. You are in the school for a reason. You decided to obtain a form into distance learning for a reason. You decided to leave your house for wherever you are right now for a reason. Like they say, you who fails to plan, plans to fail, right? So there is always a reason before you embark on an action. Otherwise, there will be a wastage of time or resources. Yeah, so when we're talking about motivation here, we are looking at what are the internal force that pushes you or that pushes an entrepreneur to act. No, now when we are looking at entrepreneurial motivation, we are looking at what makes people decide to start businesses. What makes them go into entrepreneurship instead of working for others? What are actually the reasons? Why did I decide that? Oh, I'm going to pull out of XYZ company and establish my own firm. Why did Dangote decide to stand on his own? Why did the great Michael Denuga, why did they decide to stand on their own? Why do I have to pull out and be on my own as an entrepreneur? So that is exactly what entrepreneurial motivation implies. Why do people decide to start business? Why do you decide to stand on your own rather than being subjected to somebody, right? So that is what is meant by entrepreneurial motivation. In continuation, let's look at the driving motives for entrepreneurial motivation. And we'll be looking at them from two key perspectives. But before that, motivation is the driving force within individuals that propel you or propel them to actions. So when we are talking about entrepreneurial motivations, we are talking about the factors that propel individuals to become entrepreneur. Okay, scholars have conducted various researches on entrepreneurial motivation and have come up with several factors that motivate people to becoming entrepreneurs. Now, the two big categories of entrepreneurial drivers, yeah, they are number one, the bright side of motivation and the dark side of motivation. Please note the bright side of motivation and the dark side of motivation. So, which means that we are looking at this motivation from the big screen, from two big screens. We are looking at them from the both sides of the bright side, which is the positive motivation, and we are looking at them from the left side, which is the dark side, which is the external pressures or constraints. Something positive came on you, then you decided to be an entrepreneur. Something negative came on you, then you decided to be an entrepreneur. Now, the positive side is the bright side. while the negative side, right, is the dark side. Now, when we're talking about the positive side, the bright side, these are internal psychological forces that push you into entrepreneurship. While on the other hand, the dark side has to do with situational or environmental factors that force, mind the word, that force or shape entrepreneurial decisions in you. Do you understand? It wasn't that you actually planned it, but because of circumstances that happened, because of an event that happened, you found yourself becoming an entrepreneur. Now let's pick them one by one. The bright side, which is the core motivational trait. Okay. The bright side, number one, is need for achievement. That is NACH. You could see it as an acronym. NACH. Okay, need for achievement. This is the desire to succeed and accomplish something meaningful. For example, you set challenging goals for yourself, challenging but realistic goals for yourself. You just want results from your own efforts. You just want to do things in your own way. You desire something and you want to go all out for it. You do not want to be on anybody's record of being under them or whatever. You set realistic but challenging goals for yourself and you are going out for it. That's positive, right? That's positive because they are desire. This is a desire deep down rooted in you. Then you are bringing it out. Then you are working towards achieving it. That's the first one. Let's say, for example, a student in Abuja decide to start POS business, not just to earn money, but number one, to become the best POS operator in Abuja. Number two, to expand to multiple locations. Now, the point is that what triggered the person is not just the money, but the inner hunger to succeed. That is what we refer to as the need for achievement. You want to get something done, not because of a negative circumstance that has happened or that pushed you or that pushed you into it. The second one is risk taking propensity. As we all know, entrepreneurs are not gamblers, but we say that they take calculated risk. They avoid extreme risk, and they don't also like anything that does not involve risk. They are risk takers, but they take calculated risk. Okay. Now, when you have propensity, like you have hunger, you have thirst, you have zeal, you have passion to taking risk, calculated risk, this is coming from your inside, not anybody pushing you into it. This is part of the bright side of entrepreneurs' motivation. Okay. For example, starting a food delivery business in Abuja, the risk involved is that when customers come, then you say, let me start small, let me test the market, then let me expand. Okay, that is a risk because you are going into a market that you do not know anything about, right? You just decided that, okay, let me just get myself into it. It is risk you are taking because you're going to commit some resources into it, right? So that is risk taking propensity. You have a positive mind towards taking calculated risk. That's the second one. The third one is tolerance for ambiguity. That is to say, ability to operate even when things are uncertain, ability to operate even when outcomes are not clear, ability to operate, your zeal, your passion to operate regardless of what is happening. Oh, you say, I just want to go regardless. Okay, in my last class, I was talking about the fact that entrepreneurs are more like black market dealers. Okay, not black market in the sense of not being reasonable, but the fact is that they go into an uncertainty, but with the zeal of succeeding. Right now, this is exactly what we're talking about here: tolerance for ambiguity. You are when we are talking about ambiguity, something that is not clear. Okay, it's like you are seeing a very dark environment, a darkened place, and you pushed yourself into it that you want to make way out of it. If you succeed at the end of the day, everyone shouts your name. Look at what Dangote has done today. Okay, everyone have been shouting refinery, the whole nation that are refinery. But look at him, he got himself into it. He faced the risk, whatsoever may be, whatever comes his way, he went into it, then he was able to achieve it, right? For example, a tech startup founder, he doesn't know if investors will come. No ideology. Okay? If he doesn't know if customers will accept the mobile app, but still it continues. That comfort of uncertainty, that tolerance for ambiguity is another bright side of entrepreneurs' motivation. The fourth one is locus of control. Locus of control. I said in the last class that entrepreneurs they like to take charge. As much as they believe that they cannot succeed all alone, they still, however, believe that they are all that is needed. They are all that is needed to succeed. I think I am all that is needed to succeed. I do not need anybody. You want to be in charge of yourself. You want to be in charge of whatever you're doing. Who controls your success? That is to say, you have internal locus. My success depends on me. I can do it. I will go for it. Okay, this is another motivation. It is a lot more than luck or government determining your success. Entrepreneurs usually have internal locus of control. That is to say, instead of blaming Nigeria's economy, they want to ask, okay, what can I do differently? And what can I do differently to get this done, and all of that? Okay. The fifth one is self-efficacy. That is, they believe in their own ability to succeed. Self-efficacy. You say deep down you that whatever the case is, I will be successful. And that is in fact, I note it as very important. When you are going into entrepreneurship, you must have self-efficacy. You have an assurance that whatsoever the case is, because certainly you're going to face challenge. Whatever the case is, I will be successful, right? So you believe in your ability to succeed, not just confidence. It's not. I'm not talking about being confident. You know, there is a way you can have confidence, but when you face challenges, the confidence will. But the belief, regardless of what happened, you say no. I'll keep going. You are not just confident, but your confidence backed up with skills and action. Let me say, for example, a graduate that starts a fashion brand because he knows, I know I can learn, I can improve and succeed. Even after failure, you will see such an individual, he will keep improving. Why? Because he has that zeal and he has that ability in himself, right? The sixth one is desire for independence. Entrepreneurs want financial freedom, they want decision making freedom, they want to control their own very life. They do not want anybody to control them. They want to control their financial life. They want to decide things that in their own way. They want to control their lives. Someone leaves a bank job because I don't want to be controlled. I want to build my whole empire. You understand? That is not negative. You are the one that decided is a bright side of entrepreneurs' motivation. The seventh one, where most likely I'm going to stop, is drive. That is energy to act. This is very deep in the sense that it has four components. It has ambition, it has goals, it has energy and stamina, then it has persistence. You are the type that you have drive. You dream big. You dream big. One, you have clear directions. That is the goal. Clear directions. As I said, drive has four components: ambition, goals, energy and stamina, then persistence. The ambition in the sense that you are dreaming big. Goals in the sense that you have direction where you are going. Energy and stamina in the sense that you have ability to work hard towards the direction that leads to your dream. And persistence in the sense that you will never give up regardless of what comes your way. We give an instance. When you come to the school, your plan is to graduate with second class upper or first class. Okay. Now, in the process, you will meet sycophants, you will meet friends that want to distract you. You will meet this, you will meet that, you will meet this, you will meet that. Sometimes you assume that you have done your best in a particular course, but at the end of when the result comes out, you see yourself getting a B, I mean getting a C, and then I said I was hoping for A, but that does not pull you down. You go back, you refire. Okay, there were instances where some student will come to me that Mr. Sam, sorry, this course when I did this course, I was hoping for A, but eventually I got C. Now, in 300 level, in 400 level, can I go back to redo the course? I said, no. If you want to redo the course, it is like you are duplicating or you're repeating a course that is already done you bad. You want to, so the very best you can do is pick other courses and vent the anger on them. Vent the anger on them in the sense that put all passion on them such a way that you have in like four, five, six, seven of them. Then you say that okay, at least they've covered for the C that you got in the one that you were hoping for here. Okay, another example is a business owner who wakes up early, works late, he keeps pushing despite losses are coming. Okay, but he has a sustained effort. That's the drive. The eighth one is egoistic passion. This is deep personal love for the work itself. Deep personal love for the work itself, not just for the money, but enjoyment of number one, you enjoy building, you enjoy growing, you enjoy competing. There are some times even when you are having some challenges, it's just like, let me say, for example, when you pick a cutting board, right, and you put it on your hair, even when you are not having anything positive coming out of it, because you enjoy doing it, you will see yourself doing it. But medically, they will not tell you, don't do it. Don't do it. But because of the joy you derive, you keep doing it uncontrollably. Okay, let me put it that way, uncontrollably, although not advisably. Now, the same ideology, now put it on entrepreneurship. You see an individual, he wants to just have his space, then he wants to keep building, he want to be seen building something, he want to be seen growing, he want to be seen competing. That is what we refer to as egoistic passion. Anywhere you see the guy, he doesn't just want to be in a cage, he doesn't want to just be in a cooler. He wants to be seen doing some things, working or doing something or setting pace for himself or whatever. Okay, now let's talk about the dark side of entrepreneurial motivation. These are factors that push people into entrepreneurship. Sometimes these are not by choice, they are not things that you desire, but you just see yourself getting into it. Okay, number one is unsatisfactory work environment. I hate my job. There is no salary, poor salary. My boss is toxic. Let me start my own business. That is dark side. That is negative side. Something is just like because you slapped somebody, the person decided to park out of your house. Now, after parking out of your house, he went outside to engage in one or two or three work. Then he got a house of his own. What pushed the person to getting his own apartment was simply because you slapped the person. If you had not slapped the person, he may possibly, or he or she might not possibly have thought about having his own apartment. So this is like a dark side motivation to the person getting an apartment. Another point is negative displacement. Negative displacement. Life comes as shock. Life comes as crisis. Sometimes you might have a job loss. Sometimes it could be the person that is sponsoring you, a benefactor. Sometimes it could even be an accident. This will now force you into self-reliance. You've lost your job. You now say, oh, what becomes of me now? Let me look deep down me. What can I do? Then you venture into entrepreneurship. Okay, this is dark side of entrepreneurship motivation. The next one is the next one is a career transition. That is moving from one stage of career to another. For example, you're a graduate, you start business instead of job hunting. You're a worker, you learn skill, then you start enterprising. You see, that's a career switch. What you were hoping for, you couldn't get it, then you switch to another one. It is not what you desire, but a condition brought you to that level. Okay? So another point is positive pull influences. That is to say, inspiration from others. That is seeing successful entrepreneurs, like you see, have somebody, local business owners, you have some mentors, you have role models. Because you see them succeeding, you now took decision as well that, oh, let me also follow through. Okay, these are dark side motivations. Okay, now life paths, circumstances, unsatisfactory work experience, negative displacement, career transition, positive pull influences, background characteristics. This has to do with factors such as childhood, family, environment, education, like that. So these are negative motivators, but they propel you into going for entrepreneurship. Let me look at the next subtopic, which has to do with creativity in entrepreneurship. I've said before that, I've said it before that there is no way you can talk about entrepreneurship without pinning it on creativity and innovation. Now we are looking at creativity in entrepreneurship. Now, when we are talking about creativity, entrepreneurship starts with an idea. Entrepreneurship starts with birthing an idea inside of you, and there are stages to this creativity. Number one, idea germination. Idea germination. Idea germination. This is the point where the idea drops on your mind. The idea drops on your mind at this point. You start, okay, what if, okay, you, if you remember in the class, I give you an instance that, oh, this gas, I realized that my gas finishes usually at odd time. What if we have this not with this technology? What if it is at that one is at the point of idea germination? The next one is preparation. The stage of preparation has to do with research. Something dropped on your mind. Instead of you sitting on it, as I told you in the class, yeah, that if an idea drops on your mind, there are tens of hundreds of other people that the same idea drops on their mind. It all depends on now who acts first on it. Okay. Now, when the idea drops in your mind, you go all out to research on the idea. Now, the third stage is incubation. Now, this idea, having researched about it, the idea is now developing inside of you subconsciously. There will have been a time when Dangote will just sleep imaginarily. He will see, he will see his factory. He will see the number of workers working for him in the refinery. He will see the big machine coming in. Although he had not made the order, although he had not taken step, imaginarily, subconsciously, you just imagine because this is what you have researched about. So you are seeing yourself. I don't want to sound as a motivational speaker now. It's like you are seeing yourself in tomorrow, today, because you have envisioned it. So that is what we call incubation. Now, illumination, that is how that is AHA moment. That's the point where you are taking step. Okay, after you have imagined, then you went all out. You start illuminating. Okay, this is the what if I do it that this way? You start putting things down. Start putting things down. Start putting things down. Now the last stage is verification. That is to say, when you're done, then you are testing and refining. Okay, I did it this way. Okay, what if I have done it this way? Okay, what? Let me go and test. Let me come back and redefine. Let me go and test. That is the last stage, which is verification. Verification is the development stage of refining knowledge into application. According to Adams, the following are critical to individual creativity: knowledge, thinking, environment. Now, let's look at the next one, which has to do with innovation in entrepreneurship. Now, when I say creativity is you having pregnancy, innovation is you birthing the pregnancy. Innovation is you birthing the pregnancy that you have, the pregnancy that you have. Okay. Now, when we're talking about innovation, we're talking about turning ideas into value. Nobody, in fact, as they say, ideas no dey bring money. Idea no dey feed. Okay, it is until you turn into value and people are benefiting from it. Okay, now when we are talking about innovation, we are talking about turning ideas into value or reality. Now, this has types, types of innovation. If you remember in entrepreneurship, we said you must come up with an idea or you add value to an existing idea. Now, when you're talking about innovation, there are types of innovation. Number one is product innovation. You are starting new goods. You are is that there is you do a market research, a product design, then you come up with something new, new goods in the market, something that is not existing in the market before. You came up with it. The second one is process innovation. Let me come back to the new. There was a time, according to as I gave in the class, right? When you are going to school, the very best you could have to take water to school, they will put it inside nylon for us. Back then, even we didn't used to have, is it what bottled water or water bottle, whatever they call it. But it was an innovation of someone to have started bottled water. So from that, pure water nylon started. Back then, if you remember, Zobo, they put Zobo inside nylon, then they tie it. We take it to school to drink. That was our use. But innovation started. Then we started seeing new products. Omo, instead of us coming with two pure water or three pure water, we can actually buy one ever bottled water. Then you can travel anywhere you want to go with the water. You are okay. Instead of going with half bag of pure water. That is what you're saying. New market. That's product innovation. Well, another type is process innovation. That is to say, they are doing this thing this way. How about us doing it this other way? Let me give an instance to graphic designer. Graphic designer, photographers, a whole lot of them. AI is giving them tough time. The same thing applies to programmers. AI is giving them tough time. Photographers, iPhone is giving them tough time. iPhone, then you go on AI, then you run your stuff. This is what you will have paid XYZ amount of money. Now, this is doing something in a special way, in another way. Instead of us going right direction and walking, what if I tap my finger, then I'm off? That is tapping of finger and moving off. It could be like a flight. Now, who initiated that? Let's do something in a new way. That's the reason you, as an individual, when you see people sitting down complaining, you don't sit down to complain, you innovate. How can we get out of this? How can I do it? Like, you have a lecturer that seems to be very tough. I have quite a lot of students coming close to me. I say, there is no tough lecturer. It is just you that have not been able to crack the soft part of that lecturer. Meet the lecturer. Sir, I'm taking your course. I'm going to be offering your course this semester. And sincerely speaking, sir, I enjoy your teaching. I enjoy this. I enjoy that. Can I please have the topic? Not that, yeah, you were in the class when he gave it to, but you just wanted that. You want to get it directly from him. It's an impression you are creating. So, okay, these are the. But I gave it in the class. Now, yes, I got it actually. But I know when you tell me, maybe there are one or two things that would enlighten me the most, so that I will know what to read and all that. You are giving an impression to the lecturer. Okay, that is to say, you are looking for a better way to get a grade. Now the lecturer told you this, da 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 da. Now you went all out to do your reading. Before the class starts, you had gone ahead to read the topic. Now, when they're asking questions, not because you are being sycophant or whatever, you are being lousy, you could answer questions. Now, when the answer comes, I mean, when the exam comes, there is no way you wouldn't perform better than others. You understand my point? There was an idea I also gave one student like that. I said, if I am to take you, for example, eh, I took you in 100 level, and when in the course I took you, maybe you got a C, and you were actually hoping for a B or A. Now, and I have another course to take you in 200 level, right? Then you now approached him in 200 level that, sir, I took your course, so course in 100 level. I was actually hoping for A or B, but I got a C, which I appreciate, which certainly I know was a true reflection of my performance. I'm not all out to challenge or whatever. But sir, this is the way I answered the question. This is the way I answered the question. How best could I have answered it so that I can get the A, which is my target? You will see the lecturer telling you, oh, when I say discourse, I actually expect you to come from this angle, come from this angle, come from this angle. At that point, you are trying to do things in a new way. Certainly, you will get a new result. Okay. Another one is marketing innovation. Marketing innovation, new promotional methods. We all know, we all know how life is now. I think it was in a business administration class. I was trying to ask our students, how did you get to know University of Abuja Center for Distance Learning? Randomly, I asked, and surprisingly, all my sample, all of them were by referral, referral. That tells me a whole lot. As an entrepreneur or as a marketer, I do not need to spend 1 million, 2 million, 3 million on going to newspaper to advertise. Of that 2 million naira, I can decide that, okay, this 2 million naira, let me separate it and do a referral promo for my students. Then I roll it out to students. Okay, bring one applicant, get 5,000 naira removed from your school fee. Bring two, get 10,000 naira removed from your CV. You'll be surprised that since my strength of getting students is by students referral, you will see students, they will get more students and more applicants for the university. At the end of the day, I will spend less than 10% of the money I'm going to make from the first payment of the student that they are going to bring in, and subsequent payment stays with the university, not even with the student. You understand? That means I'm building on a new market strategy. That is innovation. Another point is that when you see others, they go around to paste, oh, I sell this, I buy this, I sell this, I buy this. Instead of you pasting papers everywhere, you are now asking yourself, how better can I do it? In what way can I? So at that point, you are thinking about marketing in a new way. You are doing what is called marketing innovation. Another one is business model innovation. New way, that is new way of making money. What people have not gotten themselves into, the ways people are not looking at. Look, you understand? So that is what we refer to as business model innovation. Now we have levels of innovation. Levels of innovation. Number one is incremental, number two is radical, and number three is disruptive. Incremental level of innovation implies they had one there, then you added one again, making it two. There were two there, you added another one, making it three. There were three, you added another one. That is incremental innovation. While radical, on the other hand, is complete new idea you are bringing into the market. And the last one is destructive innovation. Not You are not even building. You are not radical as per coming with new idea. You are destroying the existing structure to come up with something new and better. You change the entire industry. Look at the point. Look at how TikTok changed the space of social media content creation. What you will go When you go on Twitter, you can only text and maybe do few. When you go on Instagram, it is more of videos and all that. Go on TikTok, which can't you do? So the strength of TikTok, I mean of Twitter, of Instagram, of Facebook, or their weaknesses rather, TikTok embedded it and came up with their own. Okay, that is a destructive. innovation. Finally, let's look at types of innovation or forms of innovation. Okay, number one is incremental innovation. That is small improvement, like you just added one on top of one that was there before. This is a gradual movement on existing product or service. You did not do nothing completely new. You just did something in a better way, in a faster way, in a cheaper way, or in a more efficient way. For example, a sachet water producer who improves on the packaging to last longer. A POS operator that has transfer plus bill payment service, or a restaurant who improves the taste of his meal, or he or she added delivery service to his product, to our product. You know, you were doing something, you just added one or two other service to it. That's just that is what we refer to as incremental innovation. Another one is modular. The next one is modular innovation. That is, you change in one component. You created a change in one component. This involves changing one part of a system while the rest remains the same. For example, company, a smartphone company that upgrades only the camera but keeps the design. Me and you know how iPhone takes our money, right? They improve on the camera, the whole structure. The same thing applies to automobile industry. You will see the difference between Toyota Camry, pencil light, then Toyota Camry this, then you see Toyota Camry this, then you see when you look at those cars, the differences might be in the mirror, it might be in the lights, it might be in the engine, it might be in this, it might be in that. Just minor, those are modular innovations. The next one is architectural innovation. That is, you rearrange a system. I removed the daddy. I put daddy in mommy's office. I put mommy in the first son's place. I put the first son's in the last born's place. I put the last born. I put him in daddy's place. You restructure. That is what we refer to as architectural innovation. That is to say, the components remain the same, but the way they are arranged, you distorted it. For example, a supermarket that reorganizes store layout, the way the store looks, you rearrange everything. That's an example of architectural innovation. The next one is radical innovation, which has to do with you completely pulling things that were there down, then creating something new. This is a breakthrough innovation that is completely different from what existed before. That is, you created a new market. Introduction of mobile banking is an example. It created a surge in the banking industry that even the existing ones were shaking. Another example is Uber and Bolt. How many people shout NURTW, especially in Abuja here? Why? Because Uber has taken over InDrive, Bolt, and all that. Those ones are what we refer to as radical innovation. The next one is disruptive innovation. That is, you change the industry. This does not just introduce something new, it destroys or replaces the existing one. For example, POS agents reducing the need for traditional bank visits. You see, we look at what POS is doing now. I can't remember the last time I went to the bank personally to go and queue to pay money into my account or to remove money from my account. Okay, that is what we refer to as destructive innovation because you change the course of actions, the course of things. Another one is online streaming, which has today replaced CD, DVD. Who cares about them again? Another instance is fintech applications. See where they are today and see where they have turned, the way they have turned the financial industry. Okay, the next one is application innovation. That is new use of existing products. That is using an existing product in a new way or new context. For example, using WhatsApp not just for chatting but for selling products, for customer service, using motorcycles, Okada, for example, for logistics and and delivery. These things were traditionally meant to take people from one place to the other. But you see the application now, they are being used for logistics to deliver things. WhatsApp started from WhatsApp. In a short while, they have WhatsApp business. Okay, that is what we refer to as application innovation. The next one is product innovation, introducing new products or making significant improvements in an existing one. For example, a new herbal drink brand, a fashion designer creating a new clothing line, or launching of new smartphone models. Those are what we refer to as product innovation. You are bringing something new, launching new ideology, new models, and all that. Okay, the point is that what you sell is new. What you are selling now has been improved. The next one is process innovation. That is, you are creating a new way of doing things, improving how things are done. Your focus is on efficiency, but you are looking at how to reduce the price. You want to maintain efficiency and reduce the price rather than maintaining the efficiency while the price is still high. That is process innovation. For example, using POS instead of cash handling, using software for school registration instead of manual forms. Do you understand that? When you applied to the university, you didn't pick any form, fill any form, submitted any form. No, you did all online. Okay, that's what we refer to as process innovation. Another instance is automation in manufacturing industries. There are some countries that they have gone robotics. You see robots working menial jobs for them, repetitive jobs. You see robotics doing it for them. The next one is experiential innovation, which focuses on how customers feel when interacting with your business. Experiential innovation. For example, a restaurant creates live music, beautiful ambience, a salon that offers free Wi-Fi, you offer complimentary drinks. These are innovations that border on people's experience. Okay. Now the tenth one is marketing innovation. This has to do with new ways of advertising or reaching out to your customers. New ways of advertising or reaching out to your customers. Okay, selling via TikTok, via Instagram. These are innovations, or using influencers to sell your markets, or viral challenges for brand. You just created a brand, then you created a viral challenge. How much are you going to pay on the challenge? You pay the winner maybe a stipend. Then you realize that they have pushed your product, new product, they have pushed it extra. The next one is business model innovation. Business model innovation. That is, you created a new way of making money, changing how a business creates or how to earn value. For example, when MTN started back then, we do all pay. Is it monthly or yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's no pay per minute or something. Yeah, pay per minute back then. But Glow came, changed the course of things. Pay as you go, pay as you call, and all that. That's an example of business model innovation. Okay, the next one is structural innovation. Structural innovation, which is organizational change, that is change in company structure. You change the management, turn this one here, and all of that. The next one to talk about is commercialization. Yeah, so this form different forms of innovation, different types of innovation. And at this point, I want to call it a day. At least we have been able to talk about what is innovation. We have been able to talk about what are the forms of innovation. We've been able to talk about creativity and the stages of creativity. We've been able to talk about motivation, the dark side of motivation, and the bright side of motivation. So I wish you all the best in the coming exam. Kindly share, kindly subscribe. I'm going to be coming up with the fourth topic for the course, after which I will come up with a video where sample questions, objective questions will be that you can use to practice over and over and over for the exam. I wish you the best. Thank you.